Good afternoon. Hi, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name's Alex Dews, and I'm the Policy and Program Manager in the Mayor's Office of Sustainability and the Director of the Philadelphia City Energy Project. I'd like to start by thanking everyone here today for all the work you've done to advance sustainability in Philadelphia over the past several years. Together, we've gotten a lot done, we've made strong progress, and today we want to take a moment to celebrate the work that we've done, but also outline where we can and where we should go with this work moving forward. We know how vital it is to the future of the city. With GreenWorks, our citywide sustainability plan, we routinely measure performance and share results through our annual reports. Each year, we get better and better data, which allows us to do better analysis and make connections between trends and policy solutions. Energy benchmarking, which is something we've done in city government for years, became a requirement in 2012 for all large commercial buildings. Over the past 2 years, our office has worked closely with more than 1,900 building owners across the city to benchmark their energy performance. And beyond being a lot of fun for everybody involved, that's really important for 3 key reasons. The first is economics. Wasted energy is wasted money, and right now, all of the buildings that underperform the national average are collectively leaving $100 million in annual energy costs on the table. That's a number that can't be ignored when you think about what the impact could be to the local economy. The second reason is information and transparency. Prior to 2012, there was very little information about building energy performance available in the commercial marketplace, and now that's changed. We have a standard nationally recognized metric available for all large buildings in the city that can be used by owners, managers, tenants, and brokers when making real estate decisions. And the final reason is environmental and climate impact. Cities are the biggest contributors to carbon emissions in the country, and in cities, buildings are the largest driver of carbon emissions. Philadelphia, 62% of our carbon emissions come from our buildings. So it's our biggest opportunity to reduce carbon emissions and also happens to be an opportunity to save money. Managing energy and reducing greenhouse gas emissions are 2 key components of the GreenWorks plan. And we've made a lot of progress since 2009, but there's still more work to do. Mayor Nutter will tell us more about what's in store, but first I'd like to invite Cliff Majercik and Regional Administrator Sean Garvin up to the podium to say a few words. Cliff Majercik is the Executive Director of the Institute for Market Transformation in Washington, D.C., where he directs IMT's research on building performance policy, energy codes, energy efficiency finance, and green leasing. He's with us today representing the City Energy Project. Last year, Philadelphia was selected as one of 10 cities to participate in the City Energy Project, which seeks to scale building energy efficiency nationally. Local and federal government are working together on these issues at an unprecedented scale, with the recognition that we can only move the ball at the national level if cities are part of the solution. The support of federal partners at both EPA and the Department of Energy has been very, very helpful for us in moving this in Philadelphia, and we're very fortunate to be able to work with both of them in this capacity. Sean Garvin is the Regional Administrator for EPA Region 3, which we're lucky to have headquartered just down the street. Sean and his team have offered technical assistance to us in partnership with the Energy Star program staff based in Washington, D.C. Energy Star is one of the best-known brands in the country and has developed a national trend towards building energy benchmarking over the last decade. Cliff?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Alex. Thank you, Mayor Nutter. It's a pleasure to be here. Congratulations to Philadelphia on its national leadership as a City Energy Project city, showing the way in terms of providing greater transparency for energy consumption through the Energy Benchmark and Disclosure Law. You can't manage what you don't measure, and Philadelphia is well on the way. Congratulations also for the great collection of partners that are represented here with BOMA Philadelphia, Councilwoman Blondell, the PICO, your local utility. It's great to see the local government working with the national government in the form of EPA and DOE to collectively solve this important problem and realize these savings for Philadelphia residents. And lastly, I want to thank the funders of the City Energy Project. 3 foundations came together to fund it, to make possible our support for Philadelphia and the other 9 cities. Bloomberg Philanthropies, Doris Duke Charitable Trust, and Kresge Foundation. So congratulations to all of you, and we look forward to working with you and saving money for all of Philadelphia and addressing climate change and other pressing air pollution problems.
Thank you, Alex. Mr. Mayor, always a pleasure. Councilwoman. I really, first and foremost, am glad to be here to really commend the mayor and the city of Philadelphia for being national leaders as we look at not only air and climate change and energy issues, but water issues and really overall quality of life issues. Starting with the city's commercial benchmarking ordinance, we really build a foundation here to really create a dynamic that is really going to benefit the people of the city of Philadelphia. EPA has been a collaborator and a longtime partner with the city. Benchmarking that the city is doing puts the power of information into the hands of the building owners and managers. And what EPA helps to provide are tools to help them do that. Our Energy Star Portfolio Manager benchmarking tool really helps to make good investment decisions, verify improvements, and track progress. Benchmarking has shown to cut 7% of energy over a 3-year period, saving millions of dollars, as well as cutting carbon emissions. As Alex had mentioned, over 60% of the greenhouse gas emissions causing climate change are occurring from energy used by buildings in the city. And the effort the city is taking will help support the goals of President Obama's Clean Power proposal. So I'm really glad to be here for this great announcement. As the mayor knows, and we've talked about it on a number of occasions, I am not averse to competition. I have been known to create competitions between mayors, so the idea of being here for a competitive event really feeds right into what we're trying to do and accomplish at EPA. I do want to recognize that the city is really off to a terrific start in that competition. We have 210 Energy Star certified buildings. We have 2 Energy Star Partners of the Year winners in Liberty Property Trust and Brandywine Realty Trust. And so we're really learning from each other, but we're also taking the opportunity to push each other. And I want to thank the mayor and the city for its leadership and for all that you're doing to help the people of the city of Philadelphia, but really the region and the nation protect our air and help us combat climate change. So thank you.
Thanks so much, Cliff and Sean, for setting the context for us. I now want to turn it over to Mayor Nutter, who will make 3 announcements tied to our work on energy efficiency in Philadelphia.
It's a last-minute audible. Alex, thank you very, very much for today's program, but also your leadership as Policy and Program Manager in the Office of Sustainability. And again, of course, when we talk about the Office of Sustainability, you know that, as Sean talked about, we're pretty competitive here in Philadelphia. We think that we have the best sustainability director anywhere in the United States of America, and that would be Catherine Gajewski. And so, Catherine, you and your team, thank you. In addition, and you may have seen this announcement just a little while ago, a few weeks ago, but want to reiterate here in Philadelphia, as we were away when we made the announcement in New York. But Catherine and her team, working with 2 other mayors' staffs, allowed us to make a big national announcement about a cooperative agreement between and among myself, Mayor Garcetti in Los Angeles, Mayor Anise Parker in Houston. And so I want you to kind of visually go back to 4th grade a little bit on the geography. LA, West Coast, Houston, of course, down in Texas, Philly on the East Coast, 3 of the top 5 cities in the United States of America working on energy efficiency and resilience challenges in our country, and we're going to bring on a bunch of other mayors across the United States, and Catherine is one of the leaders in that effort, and we're very, very proud of that and proud to work with those mayors as they lead across the country and certainly around the world. Both Mayors Parker and Garcetti are direct members of the C40, the Mayor's Climate Change and Climate Protection Group, and I'm a member as well. We're also here, of course, and you're going to hear from her in a second, Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds-Brown, a great, great leader in the area of sustainability, energy efficiency, and certainly the environment. And she chairs the City Council Committee on the Environment. We're always pleased, of course, to have our friend. We cannot call you a visitor anymore because you've been here so many, many times, and you'll come back often, I hope, and that's Dr. Kathleen Hogan, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Energy Efficiency at the U.S. Department of Energy. You're going to hear from her in a second, but why don't we, as we always do, give a warm Philadelphia welcome to Dr. Hogan. Thank you. And you heard from our regional administrator just down the street. We get to work with Sean Garvin on a pretty regular basis. And what I would say is that there's nothing wrong with competition, and quite frankly, in the area of energy efficiency, I would suggest that when we compete, we all win. We are all pushing each other to do things. And when I announced a number of years ago, in the first inauguration, that Philadelphia would become the #1 green city in America, it's not like there can only be one great green city in this country. I think every mayor should establish as a goal across the United States of America that they want to be the #1 green city in America. And when we do that, all of us will raise our standards, and at some point in time, the mayors collectively, and working with our councils and county commissioners and metropolitan municipal governments, ultimately, collectively, we will drive national energy policy in the United States of America. We'll have every possible base covered, and there'll only be left for the Congress to do what we've already done. I think they should be able to figure out how to do that. But that'll be another discussion for another day. Cliff, thank you for being here. Missy Quinn, Rich McClure, and Don Haas, Building Owners and Managers Association. BOMA, again, of course, always leading the way in these particular areas. Marla Thalheimer from Liberty Property Trust, we thank you, and certainly the good folks over at Brandywine as well. And certainly last, but nowhere near least, PECO, PGW, Viola, and many of our utility partners. Energy efficiency is not a fad. It is the future. When we talk about what we're doing here in Philadelphia, GreenWorks Philadelphia, 164 initiatives, 160 of which are either completed, underway, or soon will be done. 160 of 164 that we announced back in 2009. Along the way, we have tracked and analyzed data to help guide our work. This has been especially helpful in better understanding the tie between and among buildings, energy, and greenhouse gas emissions. Today, I'm excited to announce a number of things that we're doing here in Philadelphia as we strive to lead the nation in building energy efficiency. First, we are publicly releasing benchmarking results for the 1,900 buildings that have benchmarked over the last 2 years in compliance with the Energy Benchmarking and Disclosure Law. Publishing the benchmarking results is part of the city's commitment to managing performance by measuring data and making that data transparent for the market to use. The benchmarking data demonstrates that overall, Philadelphia's large commercial buildings perform above the national average when it comes to energy efficiency. Nonetheless, of course, there's always tremendous opportunity to do even more. Altogether, the city's commercial buildings can save as much as $100 million annually in utility costs. I don't care where you're from, $100 million is still a lot of money. Retrofits at that scale would improve air quality, reduce greenhouse gas emissions, put more dollars in the local economy, and put a bunch of people to work. For further information, you can go online, of course, at www.phila.gov/benchmarking. The second announcement is to make the move from information to action. I'm excited to announce the launch of the Energy Reduction Race. This is not a 5K at all, but kind of, sort of. Starting this month and continuing over the next year, the city's biggest buildings will compete for cash prizes. This sounds like the Price is Right or something. Funded by the City Energy Project to see who can save the most energy. Commercial building owners participating in the benchmarking program can sign up today through October 31st at www.phila.gov benchmarking, same website. Building owners are invited to sign up their buildings, save energy, and share their energy consumption data with us and each other to demonstrate that energy retrofits are viable and worthwhile. Energy efficiency can, in fact, become a competitive business advantage here in Philadelphia. This is real money, real savings going to the bottom line. Over the next year, the Mayor's Office of Sustainability will provide building operator training and keep track of the innovative tools and programs that building owners develop that can be replicated and improved upon. Together, we can make big things happen. And to that end, I'm proud to make the final announcement at today's press conference that the City of Philadelphia is, in fact, entering the United States Department of Energy's National Better Buildings Challenge. This challenge focuses on the long term with a 20% reduction goal over 10 years and builds on the work our Energy Office is undertaking to manage energy efficiency in city-owned facilities. Our friends at the School District of Philadelphia and the Philadelphia Housing Authority are joining us in making this commitment. As the largest building owners in the City of Philadelphia, our commitments can yield significant impacts. I'd like to ask Dr. Kathleen Hogan, Deputy Assistant Secretary for Energy Efficiency at the U.S. Department of Energy, to tell us about the challenge and how Philadelphia's commitment fits into the broader national effort that is underway. Dr. Hogan.
Well, good afternoon, and indeed I'm excited to be here with all of you, with Mayor Nutter and his Office of Sustainability, the great team that he's put together, and to welcome the City of Philadelphia into the National Better Building Challenge, and really to recognize the leadership of the mayor, his team, and really the city on energy efficiency. I think we've already heard a few words on energy efficiency. It's not a fad, it's the future. For us, in the administration, it's really a top priority because it really is about reducing energy waste and all the good things that can come with that. As we look across the United States, we see about $200 billion each year being used just to power our commercial buildings, another $200 billion to power our industrial facilities. You put that together, that's about 40% of our total national energy bill, which of course is more than $1 trillion a year. So what we see when you look across the country, and we can see it here in Philadelphia, is that we can significantly cut down on this energy use with what we like to say is our fastest, cheapest, cleanest energy resource, and that is energy efficiency. We think we can save 20% or more of this energy use by cutting energy waste. That across the country adds up to $80 billion a year on energy bills, while also creating other things that are so valuable to us, the well-paying jobs that the mayor spoke about, as well as helping reduce carbon emissions, that thing we all hear about, these win-win-win-win opportunities. And clearly that's why President Obama launched the Better Buildings Challenge a few years ago, with the goal of dramatically improving energy efficiency, and doing that by working in partnership with leaders across the public and private sectors. So organizations that take this challenge commit to an aggressive goal of 20% energy savings, as you heard, for the longer term, over more than 10 years, and it's across their entire portfolio of buildings. So this isn't a building here, a building there, which also is great to get high-efficiency projects. This is improvement across an entire portfolio of buildings, but the commitment doesn't stop there. It's to share the results the transparency piece, and then to share the successful strategies that are working so others across the country can really take those successful strategies and we can get even greater benefits. Already, the Better Buildings Challenge is showing some real results. We have partners that represent billions of square feet of building space. They are saving, as they share their results, 2.5% annually on their energy use across thousands of buildings, that sort of portfolio approach. So if you're saving 2.5% a year across a lot of buildings, you of course are saving a lot of money and you're on track for getting to 20% savings over 10 years. And in addition to that, these partners are showcasing a lot of solutions. So it's very exciting for me to stand here today and to be able to call out Mayor Nutter and his team for their leadership in joining the Better Building Challenge. I think we see that local governments are hugely pivotal probably too, but with energy efficiency in their communities, with all the things that happen at the community level, helping push new technologies, bringing best practices forward, implementing a number of game-changing strategies, and developing new public-private partnerships that really happen at the community level. So again, we're very excited Philadelphia is part of the challenge. We're very excited that Philadelphia will be able to share what works in Philadelphia, and our hope is that that will spur even greater savings across the challenge. We're also excited Philadelphia, the city, is joining with the Public Housing Authority. You've already heard they're part of this as well. A unique set of buildings that also can benefit greatly from energy efficiency. The multifamily sector has a diversity of ownership structures out there, for-profit, not-for-profit, public housing. So we're really excited to have the Philadelphia Public Housing Authority be part of showcasing the models that work there. And then I'd just like to call out again Philadelphia and PECO's leadership in what they're doing in another aspect of our Better Buildings initiative. They have really been on the forefront of helping get at a very a very important issue around access to energy bill information that is so essential to so many building owners, particularly those that have tenants in their buildings, and then when they want to go and do the building benchmarking, they need access to that energy bill data so they can do this whole building work. This is the information that is so critical so people know where they are from an energy building performance standpoint, know how to prioritize their investments and know what savings they're getting. And again, PECO has been great participating with us in something called our Energy Data Accelerator to really get our arms around these issues. They've developed a new tool that's working great, and I understand that it's really helped the city as it has rolled out its building energy performance benchmarking requirements, help the city get to a 90% reporting level, which is also another high mark across the country as you look for this type of progress. So again, I think we've heard the theme here of Philadelphia leadership, and I'm here to continue to want to recognize what is going on here. So again, thank you to Mayor Nutter and his team, and we certainly look forward to being back again to recognize all the great progress that's happening here. Thank you.
Dr. Hogan, thank you very, very much. Again, always a pleasure to have you here in Philadelphia. Many people, of course, recognize the hard work of many, many members of City Council in this regard, but it bears repeating that one of the great leaders in this area, of course, is Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown. As chair of the Committee on the Environment, Councilwoman Reynolds Brown has shown tremendous leadership in advancing several of the city's key legislative achievements. These include the city's LEED, L-E-E-D bill, which ensures that the buildings the city government builds and renovates meet the highest standards of energy performance and sustainable design. And, of course, the Philadelphia Benchmarking and Disclosure Law, which she authored, which sets the stage for what we're here to talk about today. With that, please welcome to the podium Councilwoman Blondell Reynolds Brown.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. This is an important milestone, and I'm thrilled that the Office of Sustainability invited my staff and I to be a part of this announcement. And if I could predict Philadelphia is a city of firsts. We have about 4 dozen firsts. I would predict that we'll be first with this race. How about that? So to Catherine Gajewski and her remarkable team of professionals, it's a wonderful pleasure to join you this afternoon as chair of City Council's Committee on the Environment. And before I go any further, I do have a confession to make. I actually am a maniac about recycling and energy conservation, to the point where when I dropped my daughter off at college this August, there were 2 trash cans in her room. Why 2, Mom? Well, let's continue the practice here that we have at home, 1 for trash and 1 for recycling. And that matters because as the mother of a college freshman, it is really her generation that we're trying to get to change their habits, because ultimately they are the ones who inherit the planet we're charged with keeping today. And believe me, they are paying attention. When it comes to protecting our planet, I think Carl Sagan said it best. Anything you are interested in doing is not going to happen if you can't breathe the air or drink the water. Don't sit this one out. Do something. So my office, along with the Mayor's Office of Sustainability, have chosen in many multiple ways not to sit this out. In 2012, we worked very, very closely with Catherine and her team, and we worked closely with Don Haas and Rich McClure, members of BOMA. We met for over a year easy. Why don't you 2 gentlemen stand up? A significant partnership where we met and met and met, trying to find what we know is important, and that being common ground. And we know that as a result of property owners, tenants, prospective purchasers, lessees, and the public at large, all of us have to work together if we want to make the goals achievable as have already been stipulated. This new measure, as we've already heard, provides all parties with tools they need to make informed decisions that get us towards our collective goal, that of reduced energy consumption and cost savings. Information, information, information. We know that drives and informs us and how and what we do later. As we've already heard, based on the last 2 years of energy benchmarking, we estimate $1 million in annual savings for building owners citywide. That matters. 30-second commercial announcement. The Mayor's Office of Sustainability, it's my opinion, should become a permanent fixture in government. But that can... If we accept the fact in the too distant future, it really is now, then I'm of the view that if we want to continue the enormous progress we've made over the mayor's administration, one way to ensure that is to make this office permanent. And so as a friendly, nonpartisan commercial announcement, please pay attention on November when you head to the polls to exercise your civic duty. Look for the ballot question. Shall the Philadelphia Home Rule Charter be amended to establish and define the functions of the Office of Sustainability? I would say that the answer to that is yes, for all the reasons that we've heard here today. Consider some others. This office has replaced 85,000 traffic signals with energy-efficient LED bulbs, 85,000. Our rec centers are at a different place because of the work of this office. We've created 142 additional acres of park space and 16 new miles of where we work out. What do you call that? Trails. Thank you very much. And it's all happened because of the work of this office. So let us choose to be responsible caretakers of our city and planet by allowing this office to become permanent. And who recalls the year that our mayor made a pledge and vowed to make our Office of Sustainability, vowed to make our city the greenest city in America? This is a test. What year was that? 2000. So we've come a mighty long way over the last, it was 2000, wasn't it, Mr. Mayor? 2008. My Lord.
Inauguration Day.
Inauguration Day, 2008. And really, the GreenWorks document really is a tool book and a handbook for us to use it as a blueprint to do better in this way. I'll close with a quote from Vice President Gore, who wrote my most favorite book on this issue, An Inconvenient Truth. He said, and I quote, "The problem of global warming is harder to solve. The climate crisis presents us with an inconvenient truth. It means we're going to have to change the way we live our lives, whether these changes involve something as minor as using different light bulbs or as major as switching from oil and coal to other fuels. They will require effort and cost money. But many of these needed changes will actually save money and make us more efficient and more productive. We all must take action so that our democracy creates laws to protect our planet, because we simply cannot afford not to act." Let's salute Mayor Nutter for choosing to act on this issue of sustainability and the environment.
All right. Now, last but not least, I would like to invite Missy Quinn, who is the chair of BOMA Philadelphia and really the leader of an organization that has shown great leadership on building energy efficiency. These are the experts on buildings here in Philadelphia. We're lucky to have them as a partner. Thanks so much for being here, Missy.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon, and thank you. Thank you, Mayor Nutter. On behalf of the Building Owners and Managers Association of Philadelphia, we applaud you and your Office of Sustainability for the broad vision of being the greenest city in America. I would also like to acknowledge Councilwoman Reynolds Brown for her support and her commitment to the environment. While recognizing that this is indeed a tall order, not unlike life itself, it's all about having a vision, goals, actions, and of course partners to help you get to the end. As many in this room may know, BOMA Philadelphia is a not-for-profit association of over 400 real estate professionals from the greater Philadelphia area. Our member buildings truly define the city's skyline, from Liberty Place, Comcast Tower, BNY Mellon Bank Center, the Logans, Sears Center, and Aramark Tower. Over the years, BOMA has been extremely proud to be considered a partner of the City of Philadelphia. For those of you who may be unaware, the real estate community, by its very nature, is extremely competitive. Real estate professionals are constantly competing for transactions, seeking to outperform one another to gain a competitive advantage. While we are all friends and there is a tremendous camaraderie in our business, it really is all about bragging rights and being better than the next guy. That being said, the energy reduction race is right in our wheelhouse. We have often said, don't legislate change, incentivize us. Present a new tool to differentiate one building from another. While energy efficiency is one of the areas where we already place a tremendous amount of focus day in and day out, this will allow our true champions to shine and do what we really do best. With that, BOMA gladly accepts your challenge to join in the city's energy reduction race. In fact, Mr. Mayor, I have a challenge of my own.
Oh, I love that.
I am extremely confident in BOMA's membership and our capabilities, so much so that I would be willing to wager that our top 3 buildings will outperform the city's top 3 buildings that participate in the challenge. What say you? Are you in?
I'm a guy from West Philadelphia. I'm in. Catherine? Oh, it's always great getting called out like that. Apparently, Catherine, we're in. Missy, thank you. You know the relationship that I've had with BOMA over a long period of time, and whether it's energy efficiency or the quality of air in our buildings, or how we keep our exterior spaces safe and secure. always up for this kind of effort and engagement. As I said earlier, I didn't realize how prescient I might be that when we compete on energy efficiency, we all win, but we will be trying to win. It'll be a great competition and a great effort, and I think pure demonstration of what the public and the private and the public can do to encourage each other, share the kind of information that the Councilwoman talked about, and if someone just has a better idea, let's not try to reinvent it, let's just use it. And whether we have it or the private sector has it, because we're all trying to get to the same place. And so, Alex, do you need to come back up, or are you going to?
Yeah, so if there are any questions right now, we'd be happy to take those. All right, well, thank you all so much for being here with us. We're really excited to launch the energy reduction race today.